All right, let's dive into a really fascinating and, honestly, a pretty ambitious idea today. We're talking about how you go from having a group of people who just follow you to creating a powerful, self-managing organization. So this is the big question, right? It probably keeps a lot of creators and activists up at night. You've worked so hard, you've built this huge platform, you've got the attention of thousands, maybe even millions of people. But what do you do with all that energy? How do you channel it into something real without you becoming the single point of failure and just burning out completely? At the very heart of this project we're looking at today is this mission, and it's a powerful one. You'll notice it's not about managing your followers. It's about giving them the tools to manage themselves and actually work together towards something bigger. Look, if you've ever tried to organize a club or a local meetup or even just an online community, you know this pain. People get excited, they're passionate, but without the right kind of structure, all that amazing energy just kind of fizzles out. Volunteers feel disconnected, people end up doing the same work twice, and eventually really good people just get tired and quit. So the solution being proposed here isn't just another messaging app or some fancy to-do list. It's being framed as a whole new category of software, an operating system for an organization. Think of it like Windows or Mac OS, but for human coordination. It's the base layer that everything else gets built on. To really get a sense of the sheer scale of building something like this from scratch, you gotta see a few numbers. And the first one is 3,000. That's 3,000 hours of intense solo development work just to get the first version out the door. Now, to put that into perspective, if you had a small team of 5 people trying to do this, you'd be looking at $1 million investment just to get to this point. It's a staggering amount of effort for a totally new idea. And the next number, well, it's even bigger, 50,000. Yep, 50,000 lines of code. And remember, this isn't even the finished product. This is just the MVP, the minimum viable product. It's the bare minimum needed to even launch. It just gives you a hint of the massive complexity that's humming away underneath it all. And this is what's so cool. On the surface, what you, the user, sees is a clean, simple dashboard. But what's hiding behind that simplicity? It's this absolute wall of complexity, a massive, intricate engine of logic and permissions and automations, all working in the background to make your experience feel effortless. And this quote from the developer just makes it so real, It's this really candid, honest admission that the system has taken on a life of its own. It's become so complex that no single person can hold the entire thing in their head at once anymore. So after all that incredible effort, how does this thing actually work? Well, it all starts with a simple but really powerful idea called an AppRow. Think of an AppRow like a digital profile, like a Lego brick. But here's the twist. It's not just for people. A task gets its own AppRow. A team gets an AppRow. Even an abstract idea like plan the annual fundraiser can have its own AppRow. Okay, and here's where the magic really happens. These AppRows, they're not just floating around by themselves. They're all linked together. A person is linked to the marketing team. That team is linked to the newsletter task. And suddenly, you've created this living, breathing digital map of your entire organization. Let's make this real. Imagine someone new lands on your website. They fill out a little survey. Based on what they say, the system automatically puts them into the new volunteers group. The moment that happens, bam, it instantly triggers their very first task, something like watch the welcome video. That entire process, completely automated. And the best part is, you can actually see all of this. With this display relations module, you can click on any a person, a task, whatever, and instantly see everything it's connected to. It's like having X-ray vision into the structure and workflow of your entire organization. So picture this. After 6 straight months of intense 12-hour days, just this huge push to get the MVP ready, the creator finally did it. The app was deployed, the servers were live. It was time to find the very first people who could use this to build their movements. And what happened? Crickets. Total silence. The first few attempts to reach out to potential users just got no response at all. After all that work, the big launch just fell completely flat. So that leads to the million-dollar question, doesn't it? Why? How can a tool with this much effort poured into it, with so much potential, be so incredibly hard to explain to people? If it solves a real problem, why wasn't anyone biting? Well, it turns out the pitch was all wrong. The real value wasn't in just managing the thing you already have a little bit better. No, The value is in creating something brand new. It's about making that leap from just having an audience to actually building a real, living organization. This slide just lays it out so clearly. An audience is passive, right? They consume, they watch, they're entertained. But an organization is active. The members create, they contribute, they're truly engaged. This tool is the bridge that helps you get from one side to the other. It takes you from being a broadcaster to being an organizer. So what does all this actually mean for you, the person with that big following? Well, it means you can finally automate how you welcome and sort new members. It means you can truly delegate responsibility and see what's getting done. You can build a community that basically runs itself. And this is a big one. You can own your platform, sovereignly. Every organization gets its own separate instance. It's your data, your community, your control. So the message becomes really simple and direct. It's time to stop just broadcasting at people and start building a network with people. And that really just leaves us with one final big question. If you had a tool specifically designed to turn all that passion and energy into coordinated, effective action, what kind of movement would you build?